You're watching News Central now on News Central TV. I am Bola Tinubu. The top stories at this hour. President Tinubu departs Abuja to Abu Dhabi for Sustainability Summit. The National Assembly criticizes border closure policy, says it is ineffective in curbing crimes. African National Congress holds 113th anniversary event in Cape Town. And details shortly. Let's begin by telling you that President Bola Tinubu departed Abuja on Saturday to attend the 2025 edition of Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. The invitation to the summit was extended by His Highness Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates. The event is scheduled to take place in Abu Dhabi from January 12th to 18th. The summit will convene global leaders to accelerate sustainability development and foster socioeconomic progress. Under the theme, the Nexus of Next, Supercharging Sustainable Progress, the event will provide a platform for policymakers, business leaders, and civil society to explore strategies for fast-tracking the transformation to a sustainable economy, paving the way for a new era of global prosperity. The National Assembly, through its Joint Committee on Industry, Trade and Investment, has criticized Nigeria's border closure policy, describing it as ineffective in addressing cross-border crimes such as banditry and smuggling. And during the 2025 budget proposal defense session with the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, lawmakers expressed frustration over persistent security and economic challenges stemming from the porous nature of Nigeria's border with Niger and Chad, the one that the nation might be deceiving itself for the current approach. Chairman, Senate Committee on Industry, Francis Fadausi, argued that the border closure is counterproductive. He also suggested that the official opening of the borders could prove more beneficial than maintaining the illusion of a closure that fails to curb smuggling and insecurity effectively. And to unpack this, we're joined by former Director, Department of State Services, and that's Dennis Amakri. Good evening, glad to have you join me on the news.
Thank you, good evening.
All right, let me kick off by asking you if you think there's been a detailed post-implementation review of the border closure policy success in curbing illegal activities, like we know of it, smuggling and trafficking. And if so, what were the outcomes?
Well, thank you for having me, actually. And this particular border issue, we've been talking about it, and it is one of the root causes of the insecurity in Nigeria. And I don't think we are trying to give it enough, enough attention, because borders can be closed or open, like the legislators were saying. It doesn't matter. You need to go down to the borders and see what is going on, and it doesn't really matter whether it is closed or not. So why create a law that will not be obeyed, or create a law that cannot be enforced? So I stand with the National Assembly on this, that we have to do more about our border security.
Now, talking about doing more, in what ways can border security be enhanced to prevent criminals from finding alternative routes or even methods of cross-border when it comes to illegal activities?
Now, you know that Nigeria has a very vast border, very, very vast, especially the one that is most problematic, which is the one between Chad and Benin Republic. The one that is facing Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, in fact, the Sahels. And that border itself is very, very porous. Now, what do we do? We're not going to, even in the United States, where Trump said that they're going to build a wall, a wall across the Mexican border, and that's another long, very long border, just like our own, that, you just cannot use that kind of solution. So the basic solution, I think in 2025 now, is to go and use technology. You know, we have technology, drones, you know, that can be used to monitor surveillance, cameras that can be used to monitor what is going on. And then, of course, even the sky, eye in the sky. Eye in the sky is like a drone actually, which is off, you know, in the sky that looks all over a very vast area of land and records what is happening to and fro, and then of course can send signals for response. Now, in our own, we have to really think seriously, because it is, why is it that even when the border is closed, people are still moving up and down? There are other variables like the traditional customary, or should I say community relationship that we have with people in Niger Republic. And then of course the way that enforcement officers think about the border, you know, because most of them are not there to secure the border. Most of them are there to make something for their pockets. So it is very, very important that we look into all this. The defense budget has given a lot of money to defense and security, and they should do something about it. Modern technology is available to do this.
Now, talking about relationship we have with bordering countries, what do you foresee to be the economic consequences, now both positively and negatively, you know, of these border closure in terms of local businesses, trade volume, and also supply chain disruptions?
You know, Nigeria is the largest economy in West Africa, and a lot of other countries, both north and west, should I say, are all depending on Nigeria. So when we close our borders, officially it reduces a lot of economic activities. Although people will still go through the illegal borders and do the business, but Nigeria stands to be the most, you know, economically viable country that others depend on. And because of that, our relationship with these other countries is also very, very important. Because, for instance, now we are worried about Lakurawas who are coming through Niger Republic into Nigeria. We have ISWAP that is coming in from Chad into Nigeria. Boko Haram around Cameroon, they are all standing by. So what do we do? The important aspect is that we have to make our relationships to be very, very good. We cannot be fighting with them all the time. And as big brother, I think there are more diplomatic ways in dealing with it than confrontational. Because if we are confrontational, we will be the losers. But if we are diplomatic, then I think they could help us, you know, in curbing these incursions we're having.
Well, indeed, we look forward to a lasting solution to these and more unity within the African continent. Many thanks indeed. Former Director for the Department of State Services, Dennis Amakri. Many thanks once again.
Thank you for having me.
And now to more security matters, where the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Lanre Shola, on Saturday held a press briefing at the command headquarters in Ikeja, Lagos. News Central's Bettina Nwili was there and now reports.
As the euphoria of the festivities fades, the Lagos State Police Command held a press briefing to update members of the press on events within the state during the period under review spanning September 2024 to date.
We have unlawful possession of firearms. So many human beings, be it in traffic or by information, are apprehended with various grades of arms and ammunition. Some under the guise that they are for gaming. I wouldn't know a man in possession of automatic pump-action rifle with 90 rounds of ammunition simply for the purpose of gaming, with 5 stunt guns that can disable a human being. 27th of October 2024 at about 1400 hours, Lagos Island. Information has it that on top of a roof, there are bags of guns and ammunition, in which case we recovered 2 AK-47 rifles with breach number 52573 and 07003-853. Also, 1 K2 assault rifle with live ammunition. This was traced to one of the arms ammunition looted from our armory at Abuja police station during the NSAS crisis.
The commissioner highlighted the unfortunate loss of some officers in the line of duty. He also presented suspects involved in various crimes alongside exhibits recovered during police operations.
In the period under review, I lost 3 policemen. On the 19th of October 2024, a distress call was received at Agege that a truck ran over an Okada driver. Policemen ran to the scene. Because the policemen prevented them from burning down the truck, they attacked my policemen. A police officer was plummeted to death by stones just in the course of sheer duty. Just 2 days ago, you see some 4 young men blindfolded. We did that because investigation is still in place. They hired a Uber man inside this Toyota Camry. They apprehended him, stabbed him to death. It was a chaos that alerted our operatives. 2 of them first ran away. We were able to arrest 2. With the man in the pool of his blood, the man is late now.
Looking ahead to 2025, the Lagos State Police Command urges every citizen to act as a watchdog and remain vigilant, as the collective effort of all is crucial to maintaining a crime-free society. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Bettina Nwili.
Officers and men of the Nigeria Police have been urged to imbibe professionalism in the discharge of their duties. Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 1 Headquarters in Kano State, made a call after decorating newly promoted officers of the zone. News Central's Emmanuel Bogudu has the story.
A very significant event at the Zone 1 headquarters of the Nigerian Police in Kano. The event being witnessed by many, including friends, family, popular Islamic cleric and commander of the Kano Hisbah Board, Aminu Daurawa. The AIG, after decorrecting the senior officers, tasked them to live up to expectations of the public, saying that the new ranks are not for formalities.
The promotees should know that they have actually now more responsibilities. The office is embedded with more. You have to work hard. You have to actually show that, yes, you want that promotion. You have to actually work hard to prove that that promotion, you want it.
Influential Islamic cleric and commander of the Kano Hisbah Board expressed gratitude to the police, saying that the business community in Kano continues to rely on their expertise. Everyone is asleep with their families while you are awake on patrol, either with sticks or with guns. You are just interested in securing everyone. You want the public to sleep. You want the public to be happy. You want everyone to be comfortable. Those that want to pray will pray. Those that want to sleep will sleep. Those doing businesses will do their businesses. This type of work have great reward if one put his or her mind into it.
Thanking the Almighty Allah for keeping us alive to witness this very special day in our lives, or in our career rather. And I want to equally express my gratitude to the Inspector General of Police who deemed it fit to promote us to the next rank, and to our amiable AIG and his management team.
The police in Kano say they will introduce more innovation in the year 2025 to boost their fight against crime. In Kano, for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
We'll take a break now. When we return, fire guts Akiola Market in Osun State. Goods worth millions of naira destroyed. Details shortly. Thank you for staying with us. A fire has ravaged Akiola Market in Ikpetumodo, Osun State, destroying goods valued at millions of naira. The blaze, which erupted late on Friday, sparked panic among traders who had already closed for the day. Many rushed back to the market after receiving distressing calls about the incident. A trader, speaking anonymously, said the cause of the fire remains unknown. The section most affected was where yam tubers were stored. The trader added that while the National Security and Civil Defense Corps responded to the emergency, the destruction was already extensive. Enugu State Governor Peter Mbah says the Igbo nation can become formidable if it achieves unity of purpose. Now, the governor made this assertion while receiving the new executive of the Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, or Highness, during a courtesy call at the government house in Enugu on Saturday. He noted that the capacity of the newly chosen leaders is unquestionable. Mbah also highlighted the numerous tasks ahead of the new executive, emphasizing that the organization they now lead represents the hearts of the Igbo nation. The President General of the Ohanese Ndigbo, Senator John Azuta Mbata, assured that the executive would not fail in its assignments.
I can only imagine the weight of expectations that must be on your shoulders now. Your leadership experience and your intellectual pedigree precede you. And so we have no doubt that the task ahead is one that you have the capacity to discharge. It is indeed an onerous task, and it begins now, knowing all the existential threats we are exposed to as Ndigbo.
You were gracious to be in attendance with your colleagues, the governors of the other states, all Igbo states, and it was unprecedented in the history of Highness Ndigbo meetings. So, since we are all around, we haven't dispersed yet, we thought it might be appropriate to stop over. Tell you thank you for your immense effort and support to Highness Ndigbo.
President Bola Tinubu has been urged to regularly consult with Urhobo traditional and political leaders in the Niger Delta region, recognizing their significant contributions to the nation's economy. Now, the chairman of the Huskin Oil and Gas Traditional Rulers and Elders Advisory Council, His Royal Majesty Monday Whiskey, the Ovie of the Great Idehi Kingdom, made his appeal during an exclusive interview with News Central's Austin Azu at his palace in Jesse, Ethiopia West local government area of Delta State. And speaking on a range of issues, the Ovie highlighted the urgent need for infrastructure development in the region, including roads, bridges, and public utilities to drive economic growth and improve living standards.
I would be expecting the government, led by President Bola Tinubu, to regularly consult Urhobo traditional leadership and political leadership. Because Urhobo is not just rich in oil, Urhobo is also very peaceful. In spite of the abject poverty, in spite of the huge neglect, with over 26 flow stations, with the largest gas processing plant in Black Sahara Africa, located in Iweka, Otu Jeremy. What do we have to show for it? Nigeria today with a lot of oil wells, a lot of gas reserve. What do we have to show for it? Government has its data. So I would think that the first quarter of the year 2025, the president should convocate a very serious stakeholder meeting for the Urhobo nation. If we are fifth ethnic nationality in Nigeria, shouldn't we be considered important when discussing the fate of this country?
Residents of Jos, the Plateau state capital, have expressed deep displeasure, pain, and a sense of hopelessness over the increasingly harsh economic realities facing Nigerians. Now, our correspondent Chizoba Nahyan took to the streets of Jos to gauge the sentiments of residents as the 2024-25 academic session begins in earnest amidst a rise in cost of living. Her report.
Knowledge is power, they say. However, in today's Nigeria, accessing basic education has become an uphill task for many families. The high cost of living is no longer just a headline. It is a harsh reality felt daily in how people go about their lives, often struggling to make ends meet. As the festive season fades into memory, the challenges of this new year take center stage. Rising house rents and increasing school fees are among the many burdens families now face.
Even to get the food to eat is difficult. To pay the rent is difficult. Now the school fees is going high.
We cannot eat as we were eating before. We cannot travel from one place to another. The issue of the economy concerning fuel is getting worse.
The hardship is so pathetic. The children, yes, some of them, the parents don't have school fees. Talk more of what to eat.
Residents share their frustrations, lamenting how these pressures have dimmed their hopes for better opportunities.
Yeah, like what I'm passing through with my children in the school now. I have 3 children in university. One at the Bokos, one at the Unijos, and one at the ATBU Bauchi. So I know what and then all of them, they are living at off-cam.
I have 2 children, but I don't know how I can make up to pay the school fees of the children, even to pay half.
Like most of us in the tertiary institution, we face challenges of handouts, photocopies, and others.
University side, I have a children in the university. I'm saying the president is trying because my children apply for the loan, and this January 8th, they paid the loan for them.
For some, however, the hope for a brighter Nigeria remains steadfast despite the odds.
We are praying for God to intervene in this. Man cannot intervene again because we have tried, man has failed us.
The government is not helping the matters. Honestly, we don't know what we can do.
So I'm telling my president and my governor and other states that they should wake up from what is happening. That's the question we are asking. What is happening?
My advice to us, the students, is that let's engage ourselves in vocational training. I think it will help a lot.
Amidst these challenges, the question remains, how soon will these difficult circumstances change for the better? In Jos, Plateau State, for News Central, I am Chizoba Aniui.
The Tony Elumelu Foundation, TEF, Africa's leading promoter of entrepreneurship, has officially opened applications for its 2025 entrepreneurship programs. The foundation has invited aspiring and existing entrepreneurs from across Africa to apply for a chance to receive world-class training, expert mentorship, and non-refundable seed capital funding to grow their businesses. Now, the flagship program is open to all African entrepreneurs with innovative business ideas or existing businesses not older than 5 years. This year, there is a focus on businesses leveraging artificial intelligence, AI, and green initiatives. Applicants must be at least 18 years old. Launched by TEF in partnership with the European Union, EU, and Dutch Gesellschaft for the Zusammenarbeit, the program supports women entrepreneurs with green business ideas or businesses in Senegal, Tanzania, Uganda, Cameroon, Kenya, Mozambique, Malawi, and Togo. Applicants must be at least 18 years old and have businesses under 5 years old. In partnership with the UNDPR Rwanda and the Rwanda Ministry of Youth and Art, this program is designed to support young Rwandan entrepreneurs with innovative business ideas, offering a seed capital grant of $3,000 to develop their concept into viable businesses. Coming up, France completes withdrawal of soldiers from Chad. Details shortly. Join us again. Thank you for staying tuned. Now, France has officially handed over its second military base in Chad, marking a significant milestone in its troop withdrawal from the country. The Abuja base, located in eastern Chad, was transferred to Chadian authorities on Saturday during a ceremony attended by Defense Minister Isaka Malo. The withdrawal follows Chad's decision in November to end military cooperation with France. French troops began leaving in December with a complete pullout set for 31st January. French troops have been stationed in Chad since 1960, but this pullout underscores Chad's pivot towards strengthening ties with Russia. South Africa's ANC party celebrated its 113th anniversary in Cape Town with renewal and survival as a central theme. Thousands gathered at the Mandela Park Sport facility to hear from party leader and President Cyril Ramaphosa. The president reassured supporters that the ANC's core values remain steadfast, emphasizing that the party is using the 2024 election setback as an opportunity for strategic renewal. He also called for peace in the Middle East and urged the lifting of the economic blockade on Cuba. The event underscored the ANC's resilience and its efforts to adapt to South Africa's evolving political landscape.
Now, the false notion that the character of the ANC and strategy of the ANC has now been redefined by a single tactic of forming a broad, inclusive government of national unity is really a distortion of the realities our movement faced and should be dismissed out of hand.
And I think today the president was very clear in speaking to those issues. But now the big thing is, what do we do about them? Do we move towards implementation? Do we evolve? Or do we then accept the decline of the ANC? And that's not something we can accept. So it's almost a do or die moment for us. And I do think that this particular January 8 had a different somber moment.
In East Africa, Sudanese residents in Port Sudan have celebrated as the military announced its forces and allied groups have advanced on the RSF-controlled state capital of Wad Madani in Al Jazeera. The army confirmed entering the city on Saturday, marking the end of over a year of paramilitary control. In a statement, the armed forces congratulated citizens on the liberation of Wad Madani. A video shared by the military showed fighters claiming to have entered the city, although independent verification remains difficult due to communications blackout. The war between Sudan's army and the Rapid Support Forces, ongoing since April 2023, has caused tens of thousands of deaths and displaced over 12 million people, with the UN describing it as the world's worst displacement crisis. The foreign ministers of Egypt, Somalia, and Eritrea have emphasized that Red Sea security is a matter exclusive to coastal nations, thereby indirectly excluding landlocked Ethiopia. At a press conference in Cairo, Egyptian Foreign Minister Badre Abdelati delivered a statement alongside his Somalia and Eritrean counterpart, Ahmed Mualim Faki and Usman Saleh. This development follows a recent visit by Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud to Ethiopia at the invitation of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Now, the visit comes in the wake of a Turkey-mediated peace deal last month aimed at easing tensions in the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia's aspirations for Red Sea access have heightened regional tensions, particularly after it signed an agreement last year with Somaliland to establish a port and military base. Mahmoud's visit has been described by his office as ushering in a new era of cooperation between Somalia and Ethiopia. Still ahead, Los Angeles authorities warn residents to remain indoors as ash and smoke from wildfires blanket area Details shortly. Join us again. Thank you for staying there. Los Angeles authorities have declared a local health emergency as ash and smoke from wildfires blankets the area, prompting warnings for residents to remain indoors. At least 11 people have been killed and more than 10,000 homes and structures destroyed in the ongoing fires. The Palisades fire, which has been raging since Tuesday, has led to expanded evacuation orders as officials struggle to contain the blaze. Meanwhile, California's governor has called for independent investigation into water shortages at fire hydrants, which have hampered firefighting efforts. A red flag warning remains in effect, with strong winds forecast raising fears for further spread. At least 6 fires are burning, including the Archer fire, which began on Friday and remains uncontrolled. U.S. President Joe Biden says his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, is under significant pressure following sweeping sanctions imposed on Moscow's energy sector by Washington and London. Now, these measures targeting Russia's oil and liquefied natural gas industries are expected to cost the Russian economy billions of dollars each month. Biden stressed the need to deny Putin any breathing room to persist with his aggressive actions. He also expressed optimism about Ukraine's prospects of success, provided it continues to receive robust support from Western nations.
Putin's in tough shape right now. And I think it's really important that he not have any breathing room to continue to do the god-awful things he's continuing to do. Well, I had a long talk with Zelensky today. And I think that as long as we continue to keep Western Europe united as it relates to Ukraine, that there is a real chance that the Ukrainians can prevail, because the cost to Russia is incredibly high. The sanctions are imposed today because they will have profound effect on the growth of the Russian economy and make it more difficult for Putin to conduct his wars. It is probable that gas prices could increase as much as 3-4 cents a gallon, but it's going to have a more profound impact on Russia's ability to continue to act in the way it's acting in the conduct of war.
Watching News Central now, let's take a short break. When we return, it's time for business news. Stay with us. And now let's join our business desk for the day's news.
In business, the NGX All-Share Index and market capitalization appreciated by 1.8% to close the week ended Friday, January 10, at 105,451.06 points and 64.3 trillion naira respectively. Positive sentiment prevailed in the domestic stock market as bargain hunting in MTN Nigeria, following signals of an imminent tariff hike in the telecommunications sector, as well as strong performances by Transcorp and Transcorp Hotel, drove the All-Share Index higher week on week. Consequently, the year-to-date return settled at 2.5%. The return performances across sectors were broadly negative as the insurance closed down 0.9%, oil and gas down 0.3%, industrial goods down 0.3%, consumer goods down 0.3%, while the banking sector inched higher by 1.9%. Still on CBN's non-resident Nigerians accounts, the central bank has barred local deposits into the newly introduced non-resident Nigerian ordinary account and non-resident Nigerian investment account designed specifically for Nigerians living abroad. In a circular issued on January 10, 2025, the Apex Bank highlighted that the accounts are intended to channel external inflows and diaspora investments into the economy. Additionally, the CBN clarified that there are no restrictions on the repatriation of funds, whether in foreign or local currencies. The naira faced continued depreciation across foreign exchange markets this week, closing at 1,544 naira 50 kobo per dollar on the official market and trading as high as 1,647 naira per dollar in the parallel market. The naira opened the week stronger at 1,530 naira per dollar, but hit a low of 1,548 naira per dollar midweek before recovering slightly. In the parallel market, rates ranged between 1,645 naira per dollar and 1,647 naira per dollar, highlighting persistent challenges in dollar access for businesses and individuals. And finally, in Southern Africa, Zambia Securities and Exchange Commission has sanctioned Standard Chartered Bank for mis-selling bonds issued by Sino Ocean, a state-backed Chinese developer, to a local wealth client during China's real estate crisis. The bonds sold in March 2022 defaulted within a year and are now nearly worthless. The SEC found two violations: failure to disclose material information about the bonds and using exclusionary contract clauses that shifted all risk to the client, breaching Zambia securities rules. Standard Chartered, exiting Zambia's retail and wealth market, faces enforcement action. The bank plans to appeal, stating it prioritizes compliance with regulatory standards. The SEC began investigating in April but has not disclosed the penalty. Under Zambia Securities Act, the regulator can impose fines or censure, but cannot mandate client compensation. This is our offering on Business News at this time. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasama Peter. The news continues shortly.
Up next is sports news.
In sports, Michael Folorunsho has joined Fiorentina on loan from Napoli with an option to buy. The 26-year-old featured regularly during his loan stint with Hellas Verona last season. Folorunsho has struggled for regular playing time since returning to Napoli this season. The defender has only featured for 31 minutes across 6 cameo appearances in the top-flight league in 2024 and 2025. Fiorentina have confirmed that Folorunsho will wear the number 90 shirt for the remainder of the 2024-2025 season. The 26-year-old earned 2 caps for the Italy national team under Luciano Spalletti last season. London-born Nigerian defender Tosin Adarabioyo scored twice from outside the box as Chelsea cruised into the 4th round of the FA Cup with a 5-0 win over League 2 strugglers Morecambe at Stamford Bridge. Morecambe goalkeeper Harry Borgine, who impressed in the first half, saved Christopher Nkunku's penalty kick. Chelsea eventually broke the deadlock as Adarabioyo's shot from the edge of the box deflected off midfielder Callum Jones into the net after 39 minutes. Christopher Nkunku paid for his penalty miss as he scored the second goal for the Blues. Then Adarabioyo, who had only scored once for Chelsea before Saturday, netted his second and the host's third in the 70th minute from 25 yards out. João Felix added 2 further goals to give Chelsea a resounding victory. Atalanta missed the chance to move provisionally top of the Serie A table on Saturday after being held to a goalless draw at Udinese, which left them 2 points behind league leaders Napoli. Gianpiero Gasperini's side would have moved above Napoli, who host Verona on Sunday, on goal difference with a win against Udinese. Saturday's draw means Inter Milan can take second place from Atalanta if the reigning champions win at Venezia on Sunday afternoon. Atalanta, gunning for their first ever Serie A title, created very little against Udinese. Udinese forward Alexis Sanchez hit the woodwork twice right before the break, first with a header before playing the rebound against the bar. In table tennis, Tomokazu Harimoto has captured the World Table Tennis men's singles glory after producing an attacking masterclass to see off Jonathan Groth 11-9, 13-11, 11-9, 11-6 in the final of the WTT Star Contender Trophy in Doha, Qatar. It will be recalled that the 21-year-old Japanese defeated Nigeria table tennis icon Aruna Quadri 3-0 in the semi-finals of the tournament and went on to show why he was the number 1 seeded player in the tournament by defeating Groth 4-0 in the finals. This latest triumph marked Harimoto's 3rd WTT Star Contender Trophy after winning the prestigious trophy in Doha in 2021 and Bangkok in 2024. And that's a wrap on Sports Update. I am Udoka Njoku.
And that's all on the news. Let's take a look again at some of the major stories. President Tinubu has departed Abuja to Abu Dhabi for Sustainability Summit. National Assembly has criticized border closure policy, said it is ineffective in curbing crimes. We also told you that African National Congress has held its 113th anniversary event in Cape Town. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Adebola Adeduba.